Aloha, my name is Sunny Savage of Savage Kitchen on the island of Maui in Hawaii. And in honor of Hawaii's Invasive Species Awareness Week, I wanted to touch base on a plant that is not necessarily on the major hit list as an invasive species, but it is certainly widely prevalent, has naturalized in the islands. It's actually found on every continent except for Antarctica, and is heavily sprayed in people's backyards and by businesses that are trying to manage their weeds. And so this is the plant, Sonchus oleraceus. That's its scientific botanical name. Common name is sow thistle, as in S-O-W, sow thistle. And it's not a true thistle, it's just kind of a common name that it got. One of the key identification pieces is that you can see how this leaf is hugging the stem. So that's one great thing to look out for. Another, of course, is the flower. Most people look at this and say, hey, that's a dandelion. But no, it's not. There's actually quite a few plants that have that composite Asteraceae, flower there. The flower is edible, as well as these little young buds, which you could throw in a saute, into a soup. You could pickle them. And of course, the leaves. You're looking for healthy, vibrant leaves. Now, my son Zeb is here harvesting some of the leaves. Yummy, huh? Yeah, we eat a lot of these. And they actually are growing all over in our yard. Go ahead and show you a few.
And I'm going to harvest it. So harvesting oats is what we eat. We have all this in our garden. So we eat all this. And we got a couple flowers. We got one flower down there. But we have some more flowers over there. So let's keep on picking. This is more south thistle.
Sow thistle.
Yeah. South thistle is what we eat. So when you pick it, make sure it's good so green, not rotten.
So sow thistle is a wildly abundant wild green that is phenomenally nutritious and oftentimes growing in many people's backyards. I wanted to just share a personal experience about being a mom. My 3-year-old son, I have 2 beautiful boys, but my 3-year-old has been outside playing on 3 separate occasions where my neighbors have been spraying Roundup within like 15-20 feet away. And so I gracefully but firmly said that I felt uncomfortable with that. To which they kind of laughed and said, oh, this is something that's safe enough to drink. I just really want to put that safe enough to drink thing to rest, because it's an absolute fallacy. And I think that oftentimes nowadays people are talking about the active ingredients in some of these herbicides, pesticides. So for example, glyphosate gets a lot of lip service, but many of these formulas have a wide spectrum of what are so-called inert substances, which are surfactants, adjuvants, and these combinations of things, many of which are considered pesticides on their own, but because they're not specifically targeting the plant in question, they're not required by law to really notify or on the label what those ingredients are. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to bring that issue up And my own yard and experiences are a great example of that. You can see over my shoulder here, this is my neighbor's yard, and there's virtually no plants growing there. They continually spray. Whereas you come over onto my side and we've got some life happening. So again, I don't think we're ever really going to be returning to pristine places that are held within our collective memories. We're not going back. This is kind of about moving forward now into what our situation is, which is we have a lot of invasive species, and how can we promote life and restoration to kind of continue. So I have another book recommendation today, and that is The New Wild: Why Invasive Species Will Be Nature's Salvation by Fred Pierce. So again, another kind of paradigm shifting look into how we can change the language, the practices, and our own mindsets around how to deal with a changing environment. So anyways, for me, this is all exciting, dynamic stuff. The earth is so dynamic and alive, and we're so often led to believe that we are causing such great damage and harm. But we also are great harbingers of love, care, attention, and positive change. So let's keep eating our wild foods, keep advocating for the decreased use and chemicalization of our environment, because as soon as we stop using the chemicals, the biodiversity, the life returns. So aloha, much love to you all. Take care.